Well, welcome everyone. Oh, can you hear me fine? Because I kind of hear.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming and sharing your time with us. We're very glad to have you here. And we're gonna begin our presentation. So I'm gonna be handing it over to Genesis. Oh, and it's also Kaitlyn speaking, by the way.
Thank you again for everyone's coming. Our campaign is called Inequity in Court. It's by Kaitlyn Guzman, Amisha T, and myself, Genesis Rodriguez. Here on the left, you will see our logo, which I will be talking about on the next slide. A lot of ideas came when it came to making our logo. At first, we had no idea what to do, but then we wanted to do something of a balance scheme, which represents inequality in our society. And as for the little characters that you see there, you see, obviously you see little black figures and the little white figures. It represents the biases in our generation. And as for like the background, Jenny actually helped us with this a little bit. It gives a representation of hope and just, like you're gonna get somewhere. So I know you guys have been having a little bit about us. We wanted to do a little icebreaker. And there's 3 options. So in this little icebreaker, there are 3 options there, and there's 3 of us: Amisha, Genesis, and Kaitlyn. So anyone could volunteer, well, except the people who know already, but anyone could volunteer, and you would put our name next to the number, and you would say which one goes with who. And I don't know if anyone wants to volunteer as of right now.
Maybe you want to read it, Genesis, up the slide?
Yeah, okay, so first we have someone is from Brooklyn. They go to Health Professions High School. They like playing softball, reading, and they like shopping as well. The second option is they are from Manhattan. They go to Manhattan Early College for advertising. They enjoy playing volleyball and like to do a little bit of dance. As for the third option, they used to live in Queens. Now they live in Long Island. They go to West Hampton High School. They enjoy reading, scrapbooking, and journaling. And the 3 names are Amisha, Genesis, and Kaitlyn.
You said people that one already can't go, right?
You already know though. This is for presenters and for the guests
who don't know who we are. You guys are gonna obviously get it,
All right, if you think it's Amisha for the first one, Brooklyn Health Profession High School, softball, reading, and shopping, give us a thumbs up. And
You say my presentation was your favorite. I'll tell you who's who privately though. I got you guys.
Mohammed.
If you think it's Genesis, give us a heart in the chat for number 1. All right, I guess you're gonna have to reveal yourself, mystery icebreakers.
Okay, well, since it's just quiet, well, we're gonna just reveal ourselves. The first one was me. I'm from Brooklyn, been here, all my life. And I actually go to, sorry, I just read Mohammed's comment. I go to Health Professions High School. I'm gonna be an upcoming junior this year. I play softball. I also play football, but I just didn't include that. And some of my things I like to do are reading and shopping.
I'm second one. I'm from Manhattan. I used to live in the Bronx, but then I came back to Manhattan. I go to Manhattan Early College for advertising. I enjoy playing volleyball, and I do like dancing.
And the third, it's Amisha speaking, and the third one is me. I lived in Queens all my life up until 2020, and now I live in Long Island, unfortunately. And some hobbies that I enjoy are reading and scrapbook journaling. I love to write in my journal and read, and I also like to shop. And now I'm going to be passing it to Genesis. Never mind, it was me, sorry. So we chose the topic because something we all have in common is our passion to make a change. We were devastated when we began seeing racially motivated murder cases of Black women and men in the media. The issue is that this has been going on for decades, and now only people are realizing the criminal justice system is seeped in corruption. I am interested in possibly becoming a criminal or divorce lawyer, and I will do whatever I can do to make sure my future occupancy isn't built off of rules and regulations created to oppress others. In the end, I just want to help rewrite oppressive rules. We just want to help rewrite oppressive rules. In the past, we all faced racial discrimination due to our ethnic or cultural background. Genesis and Kaitlyn are Hispanic, I'm Guyanese, and we are all young, and we want to make sure kids growing up in the future won't endure the same thing or have to worry about it. And in the US, it's such a big problem, and it impacts kids a lot because more money is being spent on incarceration than schools. Like 25% of the prison population in the world is America, and there isn't even that much schools in America. And it's like the highest prison population globally as well. And it's kind of crazy. And I hope that I could help end that. And now I'm going to be passing it to Genesis.
Okay, so as for what we're trying to do in our mission statement, Inequity in Court, which is INC for short, shines a light on racial inequity shouldered by Black, Indigenous, and people of color, short for BIPOC, in NYC through sharing statistics, narrative, and resources. In doing so, we will try to work to eliminate biased narratives and outcomes created and maintained by the United States legal system. And in doing so, I'm going to pass this to Kaitlyn.
Yes, so in this slide, we will be talking about our deliverables. Inequity in Court chose Instagram and Linktree as our platforms because they were the best fit for our campaign. They offer both comfort and accessibility. Comfort being that we are all teenagers, so we know our way around that platform, like in and out. Accessible being that we can download it on our phones or also access it from our computer. It makes it easy to add information. Like on Instagram, you can just post what you need to post, and the same thing on Linktree when you want to add something informational. Also makes it easy to read because you can expand and make sure everything fits in there. It was also the perfect target audience because we know there's a lot of people on Instagram, ranging from kids smaller than us to kids our age to people even older than us. Also below, we have provided our Instagram handle, which is @Inequity-in-Court, as well as our email address, which is inequityincourt@gmail.com. And as you can see on the bottom right corner, we have our QR code, which you can scan to access our Linktree. Yes, and on this slide, we have 3 of our posts that we already have on Instagram. We have more, but we just chose these 3 because they were our very first one, which include our slogan, "Is it worthwhile to racially profile?" And all these were made by the help of Amisha, which she will be explaining now.
So here we have a flyer I created and 2 Instagram posts posted on our Instagram. Located in the middle is a quote that I think really resonated with this campaign, and it's "Racism is a real crime." And the flyer and other Instagram posts say our slogan, "Is it worthwhile to racially profile?" Our slogan kind of is to intimidate legislators and racist people who work for the criminal justice system who let Black, Indigenous, and people of color get racially profiled. And I'm going to be showing you guys a flyer that I also made later. So yeah. I mean the brochure, I'm sorry, I forgot it was here. But this is our brochure that we made. And now I'm going to be passing it to Kaitlyn.
Yes, like Amisha said, we have something to show you guys at the end that she's been working on. But this was our very first thing that we made, which was our brochure. It includes our slogan, like we said, "Is it worthwhile to racially profile?" It also includes a picture of our wonderful team and our story, as well as our name, when it was established, and our logo. On the back, it also gives a brief explanation of what BIPOC is, which is an acronym for Black, Indigenous, and people of color, as well as a little informational text about statistics, which states, like we were talking about the jury, how the jury is most likely to pick white Americans over people of color, which shows a lot about our society. And then on the right, you can also see another quote we put, which says, "Say no to racism," as well as on the bottom, we have our QR code again. And I'm going to be passing it off to Amisha.
Sorry about when I started rambling. I don't know. And this is how we're going to Moving forward, we won't end our journey here. After time at YASI runs out, we plan to continue spreading awareness and advocating for diversification and transformation in the criminal justice system. And we will continue to upload weekly posts on our Instagram and update our Linktree accordingly. Like how the health justice group said they would each post like something new every week, a different person. We kind of are going to be doing the same thing. And we will start to post more informational posts and ultimately carry out our mission to spread awareness. And I think our yearly goal would be to reach 100 followers on Instagram, and our monthly goal would be 40 followers on Instagram. And our Instagram is in the chat below if you Zoom chat if you want to follow, which I suggest you do. And INC is going to branch out and collaborate, uplift, and build alliances with other campaigns similar to ours. Something else we plan to do is broaden our horizons and join other social media platforms, such as TikTok or Twitter. And we decided to also create a website. And on our website, we will write about instances where Black, Indigenous, or people of color, BIPOC, have faced racial disparities as a result of the faulty and empty rules and regulations within the criminal justice system that fail to protect minorities, like a blog. On our website, we also intend to provide mental health support for them. Hopefully, we have your support and presence as we move forward. And now I'm going to be passing it to Kaitlyn.
Yes, as unfortunately our presentation has come to an end, so at this time we'll be asking you guys if you have any questions based on us, our campaign, or just in general, anything you want to ask, you can ask at the moment.
You can stop sharing the screen, Genesis.
So we have Mohammed and Jen hand raised. Mom, you want to go first?
Mohammed?
I was like, it's a small thing. I was just wondering, like, why'd you guys choose inequality instead of it? I mean, why'd you choose inequity instead of inequality? Like, I know the difference in the words and everything, but like, why'd you choose inequity instead of inequality?
I can answer that question.
Oh,
I think it's important that we use inequity as in our name because we already have these rules that are there that, you know, make everyone equal. But the thing is, some people are still privileged over others, if that makes sense. Like, even though there are rules that make everyone equal, some still have like other privileges that make them better than other people in terms of law and help them like get, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know how to explain this, but like it's kind of like,
I get what you're trying to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's just unequal overall.
Yeah, we got it, Amisha. So you're saying that, remember we learned the two terms, equality and equity, right? So it's not the same, even though it's the same, the rules supposed to apply for all, and in reality, there's a flaw in our system. That's what I got from that, good. All right. Anyone else wants to answer Mohammed's question?
I think Amisha said it perfectly. I trust her, you know, she said it great.
So I have a question. So in this campaign about the subject of that you presented now, you're hoping that more young adults get educated about the inequality. Is that what it is, Jenny? And also join the movement, or to become lawyer for the cost, or all of the above?
Can I answer this one? Amisha? And yeah, I mean, if it could be all of the above, but as for right now, since we just started, we want people to know more about the campaign and maybe make it start a movement as for future investment. Like maybe that can be a goal that you just got an idea for us, really. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're just starting it out right now, so we're just trying to inform people, but hopefully in the future more wanna like feel free to come to us and like ask us about information or help, or where they can go where they'll feel treated equally and not like racially profiled. So that's our goal, to make people feel safe and in a welcome community.
And I also was thinking, like, you guys did such an amazing presentation. Every time was like really great. That as people come through your path, right, seeking the information, like you mentioned, Kaitlyn, but there will be information there for all of the above, whatever they're looking for. There might be, I have met a lot of young adults that wanted to be lawyers, but they didn't know what it takes to be an attorney. They wanted information, and it was not really a place where they can go and they can be guided to it. So I'm just thinking that out of all the subjects that you guys presented here, that maybe the next steps, it should be built into what's happened when these people start coming through our path, you know, how we can guide them in every single one of them.
Yeah, that's a really great idea. I like that. And since actually Amisha wants to be part of like, she wants to be a lawyer, so I think we can definitely incorporate that into our thing, because, you know, she's going through the steps now, so she can definitely go adding information as she achieves those steps in her life.
And
Yeah, I agree with Kaitlyn. I really do want to be a lawyer one day and help people. So yeah.
Jen?
Yeah.
Yes, so I love the campaign also. I think I was actually, one of the things I was going to point out is that I liked that you said inequity instead of inequality in the courts, because I think the idea is that people might argue there is equality in the courts, that the laws apply the same to everybody, but the fact is that they don't. It's how they're applied which makes them unequal. And so that's what inequity is, right? It's this idea that the laws might apply the same to everyone, but they're not being applied in the same way. And so that results in inequity. And there's discrimination and racism and all these other things that persist, which is what creates the inequity. So I applaud that term. I think that is the right term. And I was really excited that you guys picked that term. And the other thing I was going to say, I really like this presentation. I also think it's really important for young people to bringing attention to this issue, because I think a lot of people don't know. The young people in particular don't really understand how the criminal justice system is really impacting young people, and particularly young people of color in our country. And one thing I was curious about is the campaign seems to be very much about inequity in the court, which is really important. And a lot of the campaigns we see are almost about how people get into court as opposed to once you're in the court system. So I was curious if you thought, if you think of the school to prison pipeline, that's very much about how people are getting into the court system as opposed to actually being in the court system. So I was wondering if you were thinking you would cover both, or really just focus on what happens once you get to court and once people are actually facing charges.
I can answer this question, and I think both, because even before you get in court, like people, like a lot of like young teens, like Latinx and Black kids, like they face a lot of discrimination before they even get to court. Like in 3rd grade, I think they like take your test scores and determine if you're going to be in jail or not. And 1 in 4 Black males, they also go into jail. And yeah, I do agree with what you said.
I think it could be either, but I think both probably are important. So it's really where you guys want to focus your attention, I think, is really important. But I think it's a really terrific campaign and important. And like Cruz was saying, I think a lot of good things can come from this. And there is not a lot of adequate representation in terms of the lawyers that are out there and people who are being represented. So I think the more you all are interested and want to contribute to making this a better world for all of us, that's great. I appreciate it. A better legal world, I guess we should
And I
say.
just want to say one last thing. I'm sorry that I'm getting emotional about these things, because I have been a social worker for a very long time. And every time that I have a Black or brown, client that was involved in the law, it was always represented by a Caucasian attorney. And they always used to ask me, how they can get a Latino, they were Latino, how can I get a Black? And it was just, I just couldn't ever point them out to the right direction. So I think that if you look at the system, there aren't enough, to me, Black and brown or people of color attorneys representing the people that look like them. And so, I'm glad that Amisha is wanted to be an attorney, but I think that there is a big shortage of lawyers in our communities that can look like the people that look like people like them. So, you know, it's a big campaign also for recruitment and to spark enthusiasm and interest. And I also, even if you guys collect stories, you know, like anecdotes of, you know, somebody who did have an attorney that looked like them, what it made a difference. You know, I'm not talking about they're not going to change the law, you know, because that's not the role of the attorney, but how different it was for them to be represented by somebody that looked like them. They are great Caucasian attorneys that I love, but I'm just saying, you know, in the community that there's a lot of lack of trust in our community, because a lot of the people that live in the communities, like I live in East New York, and there are children that I have treated also that they have seen their parents being mistreated by police, and now they don't trust police, or they have seen when there was the stop and freeze before, where there's a lot of abuse, you know, so now they don't trust the system. So I thought that would be nice also, you know, to include, but good job.
Thank you. And I think we will implement that into our campaign. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.